What's going on, gang? Welcome back. It's been a while. I'm sorry. School kicked my ass, and then I got a couple weeks off. Then work kicked my ass, and now it's back to school kicking my ass. But this time, I'm not letting it get to me. So, I am sorry about all that. But today I got a heater for you. This is huge, huge for me because I do love me some Jokic, right? That's my guy, and I do believe that he's the best in the NBA. I really do. Um, or at least one of the best. You know what I'm saying? Um, I still think Giannis has the edge if I were to give it to him, but I think Jokic is definitely hot on his tail. And I think those two are like the front runners, and then everybody else, fills up those three through, how many other people are in the league. But at the end of the day, these two guys, I think, are the arguable best two players in the league. You can argue Luka, you can argue Curry, you can argue all these guys, right? But I think those two are the best, and they elevate their team the best. And I think for me personally, and I'm just going to explain this before the video, um, I feel like nobody impacts winning more than Jokic does. And I think that's a really important thing because when he's off the floor, they lose. You don't see Giannis team losing to teams, you know what I'm saying, without him. I mean, you see it, but not nearly as much. Like the Nuggets lose every single time this man's not on the court. Besides the game they had against the Clippers, but there was another superstar off on the court. So you know what I'm saying. A team at full strength, they absolutely get squashed. So I think that's a big point to make as well. I'm not saying Jokic plays the defense that Giannis does. I would never say that. That is not true. But regardless, let's get into the video. I'll have some more thoughts probably about it after this video. I thought this was super entertaining because I've been really hoping for the Jokic incline of talking about him, right? Because he never got talked about up until the MVP conversations. And when the MVP conversations happened, they always would mention other guys before they had to have mentioned Jokic. Because I feel like the league just has something against him, or like the analysts have something against him. The league loves him, you know what I'm saying? But the analysts just don't fuck with him, and that's okay. They may not like that he can't jump out of a fucking box. They might not like the fact that his defense is a little bit to be desired, to be honest with you, and that's coming from me. But you know, this video is very interesting. This is Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye. They have their own. I didn't even know this. I started watching it probably about last week. It's called Road Trippin', and they do basketball podcasts, and it's really insightful because these guys both played in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel that these guys are just really insightful, and I think they give a better analysis than somebody like a fucking Nick Wright or a Stephen A. Smith. So let's get into it.
I mean, he is by far the best player on the planet. It's almost not even close.
Who?
Giannis.
Jokic.
No, you're wrong. No.
Okay. I kind of figured he was going to be pulling for Jokic in this one because Richard Jefferson just, for whatever reason, and I'm going to move this over actually. I'm sorry if that fucked anything up, but I wanted to put it on the big screen so I can talk to you guys real quick. That is fucking crazy. I knew that Richard Jefferson was definitely going to take the side of Giannis. If you guys watch any ESPN or any Fox Sports or whatever, I think he's on ESPN. But regardless, he's always pulling for Giannis over Jokic. He has something against Jokic, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has to like a player. But, as your job as an analyst, it is to be an absolute, not to be biased. That's the whole point of your job. And you can tell, like, a little bit that Richard Jefferson is going to be a little biased. And I hope he's not. I really hope he keeps it to where, hey, like, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to show love for both of them. That's what I hope happens. Channing Frye, I'm very happy to see he's pulling for Jokic on this one.
No. Jokic is not the best player on the planet.
What?
Dive in, and I want Channing to go first.
Are you? There is no other player in the NBA that is top 5 in every statistical category.
Whoa,
There's no other
whoa,
players
whoa.
that makes His
Steals?
team. What
Are
do you say?
blocks and steals are categories, or are you just saying offensively?
I'm about to say.
I would say offensively. So like rebounds,
Okay.
assists, and
Yeah.
points.
Fair point.
Continue.
There's no other player that makes his team that much better.
Okay.
It just in all facets of the game. His skill set is the cleanest skill set in the NBA
Beautiful.
at
It's
an elite
beautiful.
level. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
At his size, he can, for a guy to get 5 shots, not complain about his shots, and dominate a game.
Right.
There's no other player that
he
can
gets
just
to pick his shot. He gets to pick his shots.
I wish they'd let me dream, at least for a little bit.
You have 2
Great
options.
show, by the way.
Either you die by my hand as a
Yeah, but think about this. Most players.
Oh, we're gonna pause real quick. My bad about that. I gotta purchase YouTube Premium. But regardless, he's not wrong. This is the biggest, like, if I had to make a case for Jokic, that's what I would say. He's the best offensive player probably in the entire game. You can argue Luka, but I think the winning and just pushes it way over the edge to Jokic. Because let me tell you, Luka's doing fantastic work, right? But at the end of the day, where's Jokic right now? Everybody said he wouldn't have help. When he got help, where is he? Number 1 in the West. Number 1. You know, Ja and the Grizzlies have the same record at the moment. I think 30-13, but still, regardless, it's number 1 because they beat the Grizzlies. That's why they're ahead. On top of that, I just feel like the fact that this man's averaging 25 points a game on a triple-double split, I'm going to round it up to a triple-double. Everybody's doing it, so I'm going to do it too. 62% from his twos. That's fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And that's 100% right. He only took 5 shots in a game. Because that's what he doesn't need to impact the... That's what impresses me the most, to be honest with you. The fact that he doesn't have to score 30 points a game for you to think he's MVP. The fact he's in the race is because he can drop 30, but he can also drop 30 assists. Like, if Jokic really fucking wanted to, I guarantee you right now, Jokic could have that steals record. I really think so. Because of the way he passes. I think, in my opinion, by the time he's done with his career, he'll be the best passer ever. No disrespect to Magic Johnson. But Magic Johnson is so many other things so great. Passing was fair. His passing's phenomenal, right? But Jokic, it's ridiculous what he's doing in 2022. You know, it's ridiculous. He's still inventing passes. He's still inventing passes. And there's been millions of passes in the fucking league. So, at the end of the day, I feel like we need to stop with this whole, we need to stop with this whole narrative that Jokic can't win because you haven't averaged 30 points a game. I've been hearing that a lot too. If that was the case, Joel Embiid would have won both MVPs that Jokic had. So, or Giannis would have won the other one. Embiid would have won this one. Or no, Embiid was both back to back. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. We're going back.
Players, if we were going to say an MVP, his 5-shot game was more impressive to me because I watched the whole game of how he dominated the game by just going, "Oh, y'all want me to pass now? Here you go, bloop 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 bloop," and just played the game the right way. There was no, "Oh, I need to score more to help. Like, I want to get my points up." He was like, "Oh, y'all give me this? I'll take that. Y'all want to give me this? I'll take that." That, to me, is a sign of wild dominance that I don't know I've seen. You can't name me a time where Giannis or KD or Jason Tatum would take 5 shots and be able to dominate a game. That's
fair.
And the reason why that is because you got to think about it. Jokic really, he really has such a unique skill set because Jason Tatum needs to drop 30 for them to win a game. That's not necessarily 30, but he has to have points to win the game. I've never seen a Celtics team win when Jason Tatum is 2 for 15. I've never seen that. You know what I'm saying? And that's an impact. That's a good thing and a bad thing because the impact Jason Tatum has is huge in that regard. but it's also like the fact that he's not doing all those other things that he should be doing, the assists, the rebounding, all that stuff. It's kind of important. It really is. And I think Jokic just shows it in his own way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's, I think that's a great thing for Jokic.
But what I'm saying is that unique ability, just because someone has that ability, doesn't mean. Now, I really quickly, I want to look at Giannis's last few games. Like he had
Their comparisons are insane.
44 and 22, 43 and 20, 55, 10 and 7, 30, 21 and 10.
That's
right. Now, last game he was terrible. 3 of 10, 7 points. I feel like our guy's getting a little tired, but had 18 rebounds and 10 assists. So now when we start looking at his assists, now this is my thing. Everything that you said about Jokic is 100% true.
Right.
But we're talking about the best basketball player on the planet, the most dominant player on the planet, right?
That would be Jokic. If you're really thinking about it, because who impacts winning more than fucking Nikola Jokic can? He had 48 wins with a bum-ass team last year. He's currently number one where everybody said he wouldn't be or would be, whatever side you were on. That's the craziest part to me. And I know I'm doing a lot of talking, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous that he's saying most dominant and not acting like Jokic isn't the most dominant player in the league. I've seen the Bucks win without Giannis. When they have Holiday and Middleton, they win without Giannis. They don't win without Jokic. I'm sorry. And I think that shows the dominance there. And also, that whole thing about the 7-point game with Giannis, yeah, that was fantastic that he still had 18 and 10, right? He had a bad game. The fact that it's a bad game is crazy. But also, you got to look at it like this. Jokic went 5 for 5. Giannis went 2 for fucking 17 or whatever it was. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy as fuck. He missed all of his shots. But I digress. Giannis is amazing. I really think so.
Giannis is not as impressive offensively, even though it's close. But defensively, what Giannis also brings to the table is not even remotely close.
Totally, that is true.
That's not to say that Jokic is a bad defender. I'm not saying that, people.
He's not on Giannis's level.
He's an average defender, average to slightly above average because of his IQ. You're not going to just be able to target him. But at no point in time will he ever dominate a game defensively. Giannis dominates games defensively. And he is on.
He had that game against the Raptors last year. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it was a regular season game. I understand. But I don't think it's out of his possibility that he couldn't do it. I just think that Jokic doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he does everything on the offensive end and gives even a little bit to defense is all you need from him. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a hand up or like block every occasional shot. You know what I'm saying? And even then, like, if I remember correctly, Jokic has like 1.5 steals a game. That's pretty fucking good. I don't think Giannis is averaging that. I definitely think Giannis has him in the blocks, of course. I think so. But he has to have. I think Jokic has 1.5 steals, which I think is higher than Giannis. So
par offensively
go over that
with Jokic, even though I would give Jokic the edge because of the things that he does.
You have to give Jokic the edge.
Using that, ask you this one more question: who is the best basketball player on the planet?
Jokic.
You're out of your fucking mind. That math isn't even mathing.
Put Jokic on the amount of you don't even need plays when you have Jokic. You have to have a specific team to play with Giannis. Now we're not knocking, we are breaking straws, right?
And that's why I disagree, Channing. You don't need a team to work around Giannis. I feel like you need like a couple players, that can help him, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you right now, if you interswap maybe like Chris Middleton with like, I don't know, like a Dylan Brooks, like I still think Giannis is winning basketball games. He doesn't need the superstars, even though everybody says, oh, he does. I don't think he does, to be honest with you. I think, yeah, it definitely it helps his chances, but I don't think if you were to replace because Middleton hasn't been even playing that great this year. He's on 11 points, but he only played 7 games. I hear, but let's just keep watching. I want to see what they're all about.
Little straws or whatever that term
The
is.
game of basketball is two sides, Channing. You're
It
just
is two
talking
sides.
about offense.
To that point, Rich, you asked Channing about steals and blocks.
Stocks.
Yeah, steals
Stocks.
and blocks. Okay.
Steals and blocks,
Here
right?
we go.
Jokic has
What does he have?
on
Tell
the
him out.
season 54 steals
Yeah.
to Giannis's 28.
That's right.
To Giannis's 28. Now,
This shit is weak. That's why.
Giannis edges the Joker by 10 in
Okay.
blocks.
Okay.
Because he's playing with Aaron Gordon.
Rebounds, Giannis has one more. Assists, it's damn near triple for Jokic, 368 to 187. Though a completely, when it comes to field goals, attempted, Giannis is attempted 729 to 578 for Jokic. Jokic has obviously a 62% rate to a 52%. You talk about usage there. Jokic 8 threes more.
One thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
That's it.
Made.
No, it can't be 8.
With less attempts.
Wait.
33 of 88 to 25 of 102 for Giannis.
Really?
Yeah, Jokic doesn't shoot a lot of threes. They're just all
He doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Yeah, I'm just giving you some comparisons. Here's my question then for the both of you. Because at the end of the day, when you talk about best player on the planet, that obviously translates to winning, right?
Yeah.
If you were to have a 7-game series, who would you want in a 7-game series?
All right, I like her. That was a sweet ass question. Hold up, the way she transitioned from giving the stats up, right? Yeah. I was right about the blocks and steals. I'm very happy I was right about that. I didn't want to see like a fucking buffoon. I didn't know what I was talking about. But 62% is crazy. He was taking 100 less shots, right? But you got to understand, 62% for over 500 shots is crazy fucking tough to do. You have to be 8 feet tall to fucking do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, or even taller than that. You know what I'm saying? So Jokic is doing something unprecedented right now. Because you got to think about it. Yeah, they all Embiid and Giannis and all the. Well, let's even give who's another one? Bam. Well, let's see those 3 guys, right? They're all pretty big guys, and they all find a lot of their work in the paint. They're all around average. You know what I'm saying? I think Jokic even edges all of them out in completion. Maybe Giannis is a little bit higher, but I think regardless, you move that line to like 10 feet from the basket, Jokic is like miles ahead of these guys from the from 10 feet from the basket. And then don't even get me talking about shooting the ball. The only 2 that really can argue that are Embiid and Cat. And honestly, I think Jokic has Embiid in that too. So, and Cat doesn't even play like Jokic. So at the end of the day, Jokic is setting such a high precedent to how centers play now, to where I don't think people are going to even be able to fucking keep up with him. Giannis is lucky he's a fucking power forward. But I digress. I really digress on that, because if you were to give me right now the Bucks versus the Nuggets, I'm taking the Nuggets in 5. With Middleton back and Holiday back, I give the Nuggets in 7. And it's because I don't think Chris Middleton is playing that well. And Drew Holiday can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Jamal Murray is way more impactful than Drew Holiday is right now at this moment in time. And Michael Porter Jr., I think, edges out Chris Middleton by a pretty wide margin. So if we're basing Big 3 on Big 3, I think the Nuggets' Big 3 is better at the moment. But that depends if how Michael Porter Jr. plays, because remember, in the playoffs, he tends to stink it up. And then Jamal Murray, you know what I'm saying? In Chris Middleton, that's the other one. I'm sorry. I didn't mean Jamal Murray. I meant Chris Middleton, because you got to think about it. Chris Middleton has a 35-point game. I think the Nuggets lose regardless. So, and Jokic and Giannis are going to play their fucking asses off. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on these guys around them. And I think the Nuggets' depth is way deeper than the Bucks. Because actually, this actually brings up a point that I'm gonna make later when the video is all done. So let's get back to the video.
Milwaukee is healthy. Milwaukee would motherfucking whoop Denver's tail.
No.
What?
If Milwaukee was healthy, no, you're out of your mind, bro.
If was a fifth and we all be drunk, listen, ain't no, they're not healthy. What I'm saying is,
you said they're not healthy. But they have the same record. They have the same record. And we're gonna
say fair. And you've got Denver and Milwaukee in these teams.
We saw what happened in Milwaukee last year. We saw what happened in Milwaukee last year.
You get to create a team around these two individuals.
Yeah.
Who do you want? Who are you picking?
That's a hard choice, Allie. You can't go wrong. I'm taking Jokic. I'm taking Jokic.
For Channing and I, like, so we had a thing. We were like, who is the most fun player to watch between the two? Hypothetically.
Oh,
like, if you're a fan, it's Giannis, right?
What?
Who is the best playmaker of the two?
Jokic.
It's Jokic. Who is the person that you would want to play with the most?
Oh, it's Jokic.
Jokic. But yeah, like, that's not a disrespect. It's like, do you want to play with LeBron or do you want to play with Kobe? Well, LeBron's gonna pass him the ball a fuck ton more than Kobe
He's gonna take 5 shots in a game. A two-time MVP takes 5 shots.
That's impressive.
I don't describe someone's dominance by do you want to play with them, right? Like that's.
Do you want a snowman?
I didn't ask who you wanted to play with. I'm saying who are you taking?
I am taking
as a GM.
Because this is for my thing.
I would take Jokic because I could put anybody with him.
Yeah,
here's why. On the offensive end, you can put anybody with him and you will make them better. Defensively, there's a reason why he's needed. And again, every player needs something. I just think that.
Okay, that's a good point, but I'd rather teach an offensive player how to play defense than a defensive player to play offense. Because you know for a fact someone could go like this and guard somebody, right? Get a hand up, right? Defense is hard. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it is way fucking harder to get someone to shoot a damn basketball. Think about the perfect example I use for this is fucking Matisse Thybulle. Think about it. He's a great defender. He's a really good defender in the league. I don't know if you guys know this. Isaac Okoro is another one. Great fucking defender. Cannot shoot the fucking ball to save their life. I would much rather have a guy like, who's a perfect example? I'm trying to think. Terry Rozier. I'd rather have a guy like Terry fucking Rozier than have a guy like Isaac Okoro on my team. And obviously there's a reason why we have defensive anchors on the team and they don't really shoot or they'll go in and drive a couple times. But I would much rather teach a offensive player how to play defense because I think defense is easier to teach than shooting and getting to the lane. That stuff is hard and like extremely hard. I'm not saying defense is not because it's hard to guard guys like Giannis and Jokic. But I'm talking about like in Curry and Trae Young and all these guys, right? But I just think it's harder to learn offense because you should already know how to play offense. Defense is something that people normally don't know how to do. So that is normally taught pretty often.
Defensively, you will have, if you build around Giannis, it is much easier to build a top 5, top 10 defense. And around him, it is much easier because he's very similar to LeBron and he's a willing passer, gets multiple triple-doubles, that it's easy to have a dominant player on the defensive end, on the offensive end, that is also a very, very willing passer for a superstar.
Now, for everyone listening, I absolutely love Giannis. So we are.
What's Yav?
I love him.
Yeah.
You have them too.
So don't think that we are bashing either one. I took a stance.
You.
I am not bashing him. I would, if you gave me Giannis, I would be happy. We are.
I promise
slicing
tell your
up
dad jokes.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it is easier to find defensive players that Jokic can make better rather than finding offensive players that need to be good defensively. Giannis didn't win until they surrounded him with.
I just fucking said that. I swear to God, Channing Frye and I were like brothers in a different dimension or some shit. This is fucking crazy. All right, that's fucking awesome. Keep cooking, Channing. Keep cooking.
Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, you know, Big Lopez.
Jamal Murray's an all-star player. He's also got Aaron Gordon.
Jamal Murray is actually not an all-star, by the way.
No, but I'm saying he's an all-star caliber player. Before he tore
obviously not. No, he's not. He's never been an all-star, so he's not an all-star caliber player, Richard.
That's just fuck. No, come on, don't do that.
Hey, I disagree with that. I feel like if you are like always in the conversation, like Jamal Murray was the year before he got hurt, and now this year, I feel like he definitely is an all-star. But I digress.
Yeah, don't.
Oh, and also, if he weren't playing for Denver, I think he would probably be more in the case for all-star.
Be a dick.
I'm not disagreeing. It doesn't make sense.
Jamal Murray went to the conference
caliber player too.
Jamal Murray went to the bubble and was getting 50 balls and led a team to the conference finals before.
That doesn't mean okay. So did T.J. Warren. Is he an all-star player?
Don't do
so did T.J. Warren.
Don't do the
T.J. Warren.
Conference finals.
T.J. Warren ain't Jamal Murray.
In the bubble?
Best player in the bubble, is second best player in the bubble. Like, okay, really.
T.J. Warren at 50.
Let's unpack.
Now,
T.J. Warren.
I'm arguing.
Now you're arguing. Let's unpack it.
If you put a jalapeno and a habanero in a skillet, this is where we are right now.
Jamal Murray.
He is a all-star caliber player.
He's a Drew Holiday like type player. I'm saying this when Jamal Murray. Bitch, Jamal Murray missed an entire season because of an ACL. Jamal Murray
and Drew Holiday are not comparable, big guy.
They are.
If Jamal Murray at his peak, he is still recovering from a knee injury. He's 30 games into a season. Prior to this, if we are referencing Jamal Murray's ascension from a top 10 pick to a 18-point a game scorer, their team went to the postseason every year. He starts going for 50 points in the bubble, and then they 2-3-1 comebacks and goes to the conference finals as the second best player on a team.
Right.
And Jokic was not MVP Jokic yet. So that meant Jamal Murray had more responsibility. So if I'm going to say that Jamal Murray by the end of this season or next season is a Drew Holiday quality player, that's true.
It is true.
Right? Aaron Gordon, what he is doing, top 10 pick, everyone knows, gets out of Orlando and every year has been ascending. Right? Every year he's got better, especially with Jokic. That's all I'm saying. We can't say that Jokic has nobody and they had to go get Drew and then Chris Middleton. Yes, every player needs somebody. Let's not say like Jokic has no. And they got Michael Porter Jr. also, who's a 6'10" fucking ratchet.
Ratchet?
Like,
what does ratchet mean, Richard?
A ratchet. That man, the dude can.
He be shooting that thing.
He shoots like you.
No. My shit was absolute flamethrower. It's is medium lighter right now.
Ooh.
I'm joking, Michael Porter.
That was a fun conversation.
What?
I still don't know if we figured out who is the better player in the world.
It's the best player in the world is Jokic. Jokic is about to be a 3-time MVP if he maintains this season, but he's not the best player in the world.
That's wrong.
He's not the best.
That doesn't make sense.
Well,
it does not make sense. All right. Well, what does it get out of this? All right. So let's start. That was very insightful because I think that just totally shows how much of a fucking hater Richard Jefferson is. He was doing it respectfully, though. I do gotta say that he was respectively hating. How about that? But regardless, I want to say this to anybody that doesn't agree with the whole Jokic 3-time MVP thing. Get over it. Get over it, because if they finish number one in the West and he's playing like he is now, he will be MVP for the third season. And he will be in with some of the greatest players of all time. He will be undeniably one of the best players of all time. So really get over it and let that sink in. Second of all, Giannis is a fantastic player, and I do think he still is the best player in the league. That's what I want to get through everybody's thick skull right now. I really do think that Jokic is number two. I don't think he's number one, but I think if we're talking about dominance, Jokic is the best player for that in the entire league. Nobody does what he does on the league. Nobody does what he does passing-wise. I think the assist is what really does it for me, and the fact that he's shooting 62% from fucking field goal percentage. That's ridiculous. Also, Sorry about that. I want to go over this real quick. I want to actually bring something up, so give me 1 second while I do. Okay, so hold on, I'm just gonna share it real quick. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So if we're looking here, right, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I know you guys probably cannot see that at all. Hopefully this works. Still a little small. Hold on, let me bring in one more. Okay, let's go over this real quick. Look at this man. Look at this shit, right? And Aaron Gordon, I guess, to Channing Frye's point, has been helping on the blocks, but really 0.8, they have to be bottom 10 in fucking blocks. Unless everybody on the fucking team is averaging 0.8. Which Jokic is at 0.6, okay? And the only guys that are higher than that are Bruce Brown, DeAndre Jordan is tied, and Aaron Gordon. That is fucking ridiculous. I don't think. Well, let's look at the stats real quick. So we got 24, right? 11 and 10 on a 1.5 steals, 3.4 turnovers, but he has the ball in his hands a lot. So of course he's gonna be turning the ball over a little bit. And let's look at Jamal, 18.6, 4 and 5. I want to look at shooting splits. Here we go. Let's look at Jokic's before we go to Jamal's. 62% on the dot. 37% from 3. What the fuck is going on? 81% from the line. This man is averaging a 62, 37, and 81 fucking triple-double. Not triple, shooting splits. My apologies. 66.6% from 2s. Name someone that's doing this. Oh my God! Hold on. Let's go Jamal Murray now. 44.6%, right? That's a little mid, but he takes a lot of shots. 38% from 3. Awesome. 80% from the line. He's been better. 48% from 3s. Whatever. He's small. Aaron Gordon has been fantastic. I didn't even need to bring him up, but he's been fantastic. Let's go to his stats. 16.7 points per game on 3 rebounds and 2. Oh, no, sorry. No, I'm looking at Contavious. My apologies. 6 and 2. 7. We'll go 7 and 2.5. All right. That's amazing. That's what they needed from him. That's really what they needed from him. So that's fucking awesome. And then look at the bench players. All right. Let's look at the bench players. These are the main 5 guys that play, with Bones Highland being the 6th man, and Bruce Brown and Bones Highland being the 6th and 7th man, right? I don't know a team that can beat these 7 players. I really don't. And we can go to Milwaukee. I see them right here, so let me pull them up real quick. Milwaukee, let's go to their stats. Look at. That's another thing. Giannis is not leading in every fucking stat. And yeah, because he has Jrue Holiday. Let's go over Giannis' stats. 31 points. Fucking fantastic. 12 rebounds. So he's a rebound higher. And then a 5.5. Not even close in assists. Not like realistically still a half a steal away from Jokic. And he's only averaging 0.1 high, a 0.3 higher than Jokic. And you guys want to... I'm not saying Giannis isn't a defensive, like, if we were really to put up the defensive splits, right, Giannis would probably dominate Jokic. Not saying that. I'm just saying, like, for everybody saying that Jokic isn't grabbing steals and blocks, that's not, and maybe not blocks per se, but he's grabbing them steals, boy. And he's turning the ball over way more than Jokic is. Let's go over here. Drew, about the same stats as Jamal Murray. Let's look at his shooting stats stuff. You could argue this is literally the same player, just with a better three throw percentage. You really can. And then let's look for a guy that we can compare Michael Porter Jr. to. It would have to be Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton hasn't been playing. So, we're just, like, that's the issue. Like, take Chris Middleton out. You have four pretty decent players. And then these three right here. These are your 7 best players. Without Middleton. I don't know, man. I disagree. Because Chris Middleton's 32% from the field, 26% from 3. Obviously 90 from the line is amazing, but his 2 percentages are 38%. I can't tell you that this team can beat Denver. I really don't think. I think I'd be lying to every single one of you guys. Now, if we were to go to, let's see, Boston Celtics, I think this is the only team that can beat Denver. Look at this 7. Look at this. Hell, we'll go 8 here. Look at that 8. Look at that 8 right there. We got Jason Tatum playing amazing. His efficiency is kind of little to be desired here. Jaylen Brown's been fantastic. I don't think he's just as inefficient as Jason Tatum, but Malcolm Brogdon's been fantastic off the bench. And I don't know if he is starting, but I don't think he is. So I think he's coming off the bench, which is fucking awesome. I love that addition for them. I think that was a very amazing thing for them. And then Marcus Smart's fantastic, even though he's an annoyance. He's fucking awesome. He's been having a little bit of a down year for shooting splits, but I don't really care about all that. He plays his role very well. Derek White, I'm not a big fan, so we're gonna skip that. Al Horford, great veteran. Grant Williams, he played great in the playoffs. He'll be scary. Robert Williams, I hope he stays healthy. These guys right here, and he's not even playing right now, so we'll give these 7. This is the only team, in my opinion, that has the 7 that can beat the fucking Denver Nuggets. And I'm sorry this video stretched on for a little long, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to show Jokic's dominance. I wanted to show how his team, because I did want to show you guys how I feel the predictions are going to go for, like, how I feel that the season is shaped up and who's going to be where. I do think it's going to be a Nuggets Boston series. And right now I'm leaning more towards the Celtics winning it. Not saying the Nuggets can't win it. I'm just saying right now I think the Celtics are the best team in the league. With Denver trailing right behind. And I don't really think that the Bucks right now, as constructed, could hang with the Nuggets. Because I just need to see a healthy Middleton that's not going to have 11 points a game. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to start posting a little bit more often. I don't want to do every day like I promised. I think it's unrealistic to do every day. But if I would like to get a video out every 3 to 4 days at the latest, I would love that. Hopefully, I'm going to probably record another video after this. You'll probably see me in the same fucking clothes. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for my 40-minute fucking video. But I feel like this was a pretty deep analysis. Not deep, but like pretty surface level analysis for who I think is going to win. And if you guys want to see a video on that, let me know down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that bullshit. And thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. And, just keep watching basketball.